Shazazz Creations, your one-stop shop when it comes to customization. Totes, tees, tumblers, hats, and more. Looking for a customized gift idea for a graduation, birthday party, baby shower, or just a unique creation of your own? Check out Shazazz Creations as seen here on Whitney DTV. Female, Black owned. Use my promo in the description box down below and let her know Whitney D of Whitney DTV sent you. Thank you. Bye.
What's up, Jewel Gang? So I would like to address this white woman who goes by the name of Nikki Marie on Facebook. Her page is private, but her DMs are wide open. You see, this scarecrow thought it'd be a good idea to slide in a black woman's DM, bully and harass her over having a small disability. Pause and read. Pause and read. Pause and read. You see, this beautiful black woman you decided to harass for having a small disability when being compared to you is walking art. Black women are literally walking Picassos, which is why snow roaches like you envy us so much. You look like the cashier at H-E-B that has to call the manager every 5 seconds because you're too stupid to work the register. You look like splattered bird shit dried up on the side of someone's car. You couldn't match her beauty if she gave you an audio booklet with a step-by-step description on how to do so. And between me and you, I'm the bigger bully. Sit your ass down.
But you really lame. Did you really think you could play me? Well, you better think again. What you say these girls ain't loyal, but you got 7 girls in this damn phone. Now tell me who's really loyal? It ain't you. These boys ain't loyal, talking about us girls, saying that we all bodies. But us girls will hold it down, pick you up, weigh you down, and give you anything you want. You're trying to run game that's already been paid, gonna get your heart broken. Do you know who you are dealing with? Liar, liar. Thought you were slick. Liar, liar. But I'll always be fire. Liar, liar. Thought you were slick, but I'll always be fire.
this point, we briefly pause the interview to give Kelly a moment.
I hope this camera keep going. Stupid R.Kelly. Fight for my life. Stupid R.Kelly. Do it. Stupid R.Kelly. Fight for my life. Stupid R.Kelly. Do it.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, don't be. Go ahead and click that subscribe button to be a part of the Witness gang, to join the Witness Nation. Now let's get into this, shall we? Hello, you guys, and welcome to the channel. If you're new, don't be.
I'm Whitney.
Today I saw a ladybug, and it's so crazy because Whitney used to always call me Ladybug, and we used to have thousands of ladybugs in Virginia come summertime. We used to open up all the windows, and thousands of ladybugs would just come into the house. They would fly into the house, and it would just be the most beautiful thing ever. And I saw a ladybug today, and it made me think of Whitney. That's so crazy. It really made me think of Whitney.
What up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are listening to this playback. I hope you guys are having a super stupid blessed Thursday, to say the least. Okay, we have a long, well, no, I'm not gonna say that, it can't be too long, but we have an interesting live, you guys. We're going to be discussing a few things when it comes to Cheryl Mack, when it comes to this trial. We're actually going to be doing some script reading in regards to Hailey Calhoun. Okay, so we're going to get into all of that. But first, let me go ahead and get into this chat and see how you guys are doing and where you guys are tuning in from, and just love on you guys real quick or whatever, okay? Good morning, Pauline. Hello. Hey, Kaylee, too. What's happening? Hey, Shanti. Hey, Nikki, baby. Uh-oh. KD. She made it official. Hey, honey, welcome. Yay. Welcome to Whitney BTV, honey bunches of oats. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Question, and I ask everybody this that joins, why did you specifically decide to join the channel as a member? Please let me know that. I'm so interested and curious about that, okay? Hey, peace and serenity. Hey, my love, how are you doing? Hey, Kamiko. Hey, honey. Hey, Miss J. How are you? Hello, 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 hello. Let me make sure I said hello to everybody. Okay. Hey, Tanya. Hey, how are you? Hello, hello, Shantae. She says, good morning, Whitney D. Love the channel. You are a friend in my head, and that intro song lives rent-free in my head. Actually, I heard Katie found the freaking song. So shouts out to Katie, girl. If you want a place where you found it, please, place where you found it. But Shanti, you're a friend in my head too, honey. Okay, hey girl, how you doing? What we doing this weekend? Okay. Katie says, I love you. I feel like I'm home. Oh, awesome. Okay, that's good. That's the feel. That's the reason why my set is the way it is. No green screen. Okay. I want you guys to feel like you're at home. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Katie, make sure that you tag Shantae in it, okay? Because she wants it, okay? But hey, St. Louis. Okay. Hey, H-Town. Hey. Okay. So we got a lot to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Okay. But first, yes, OMG, 104 away from 5K, you guys. I'm so stinking excited about this. Okay. So we've been putting the work in. And you know, I'm a baby channel for the most part. People don't really know that. But if you do your research in regards to my channel, if you're actually not just on there, just, you know, being a little a peeping Tom, I haven't been on YouTube that long, but that's me putting in the work. I started this in 2019. Okay. 2 years. I had to do the math. Okay. But I've only been doing this for 2 years and I got 838,000 views. I'm almost at 5,000 subscribers. I had no machine behind me. This is all me putting in the work and just, you know, making my channel be what it is. So shouts out to me. I'm giving myself a pat on the back. Yes. So not for nothing, you guys. And on the contrary, fun fact, my highest video is not a Asriel or Clary's or R.Kelly video. It's not. My highest video is actually, I don't know if you guys remember that barbershop video that came out years ago. I covered that. And everybody poured in because I was reviewing the freaking video. So fun fact, it's, yeah, if you notice, if you look at my my videos and just go through them, yeah, the Asriel's and R.Kelly videos come way after that. And then my second largest one is about the pastor that was cheating that got caught on that video. And then I think, and then the next one is Dancing Dolls. And then after that, I think it's like the whole Asriel stuff like that. So, yep. So maybe been putting in that work. Okay. Before the whole R.Kelly situation. All right. And I'm going to be thriving thereafter this situation. If you guys ain't noticed, I've been gearing my channel to be able to disperse from this whole R.Kelly situation because it's bigger than R.Kelly. Okay. It's bigger than R.Kelly. Okay. But not for nothing. Shouts out to everybody coming in. And if you guys missed last night, oh my God, you guys missed a really informative conversation that I'm going to break down. We had the beautiful Kelly Rogers. Yes, that's right. The mother of Faith Rogers in the chat. And baby, he was just going back and forth, and I was able to love on her, and she was absolutely just phenomenal. And since we have everybody in the building, what we all came up with, well, actually by way of Mr. Angelo Clary, he said that he would, matter of fact, let me let y'all hear what he said. And if this is something that you guys are interested in, oh man, did I stop sharing that? Oh crap, I wasn't supposed to do that, but it's okay. Let me share something with you guys because we were already in discussions about this. And so I'm just going to let you guys hear what Mr. Clary said on last night. And if you guys are interested, you can hit me up. Okay. We're going to do that. Let me get to it because we stayed on here for 5 hours. We were on here for 5 hours. Okay. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell y'all. Mr. Clary, okay, said that if you guys listen up, okay, you're hearing it here first on Whitney D TV, like dead serious. Mr. Angelo Clary and myself will be teaming up and getting a charter bus to go to the, what is it called? Not the verdict, but sentencing of R.Kelly. Okay. So if you guys would like to get on the bus, okay, we're going to pick a neutral city for everybody to come in. The bus is then going to take us to New York, and we're going to be supportive of the victims. Okay. And because of the way that Miss Kelly Rogers presented it to us and said that, you know, when they would go to trial, it was massive amounts of, well, we ain't gonna be, I'm exaggerating. It was a few of them little pea hoppers that was swarming around, and they were in support of Kelly, but there was no support for the victims. And I kind of went in. I was like, I'm here, I'm support. She's like, no, baby, at the courthouse. And I was like, oh, okay, let's change that. So when Angelo Clary heard that, he stepped up and said, the first bus is on me. Whoever wants to go to the sentencing of R. Kelly after his verdict, we will find out the date and time as to when the sentencing will be. He will donate towards the charter bus for all of our supporters to be able to go and support the the victims at this point. Okay. How about that? So I think that's phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? That's phenomenal. And to hear this from a victim's mom, we got to do it. So if you would like to get on the bus, okay, email me. All right. Email me. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to need your IG account. I'm going to need your Facebook account information and any other social media. I'm going to do my research, because if you low key trying to get a free ride and you're in support of him, you need to find your own way. So I am going to go through your social media. And I'm going to make sure that you ain't, doing no okey doke on us. Okay. You can erase it now if you want to. Okay. But not for nothing. If you would like to come on the bus and get on the bus in regards to supporting these victims, hit me up at my emails at reviewswhitneyd@gmail.com. I just wanted to put that out there. Okay. Now let's get into the spiel for everything. Hello, you guys, and welcome to Whitney D TV. Many of you guys already put your city in the chat, so shouts out to you guys. Make sure you're coming in and you're keeping it cute, or you will get the boot. That's on period. Okay. I respect my platform and I respect you. Okay. It's a give or take situation. Okay. You don't have to agree with me. However, I just ask that you respect my platform. Okay. Please do not spam my chat with your free R.Kellys, because I don't support that over here. I draw my lines in the sand, and where I stand is where I stand on period. Do not come over here with that. All right. So go where it is supported. Okay. So if you disagree with anything that we say, okay, thank you, Katie. Be blocked and be blessed. All right. If you would like to disagree, that's fine. Do it respectfully and say it with your chest. All right. Now, for nothing, make sure you guys like this video if you have not done so, and subscribe to the channel. Okay. If you want to see this channel, this platform go and grow, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Okay. And then lastly, if you would like to join the channel, all right, there is the way that you can go by doing it. The link is usually in the description box. However, I am literally, as we're speaking, heading on over and placing it into the chat like so. Boom. We all already got a new member, Katie, who joined before I even hit the live, y'all. She was not playing any games. Okay. So if you would like to join the channel, you are more than welcome to do so. It is located in the chat, the link. Okay. Not for nothing. That's pretty much, wait. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you like to support me monetarily, it's located at the bottom of the screen. Cash Out, Zelle, PayPal, it's all there. Okay. And your money goes far. Trust you me. I'm not just playing with it. It will be going right back into my channel. Okay. So yeah, so I've pinned the link to be able to come to join the channel. Okay. And support me on a month-to-month basis. Now let's get into the gusto of everything. Hold on, y'all. I gotta take this call. 1 second. Bye-bye. Okay, sorry, y'all. That was my brother. He just got out of surgery. Okay, not for nothing, you guys. We have a lot we have to get into. Okay, first and foremost, I shared this link with you guys. It really wasn't a link. I shared this particular post that Mr. Clary placed in the group that I quite frequent. Let me shout them out first and foremost. shouts out to the R.Kelly case, open discussion. I love it. It's very non-biased. But I'm just gonna tell you, the supporters outweigh the none. Okay, but they stay on this case, and they're always uploading and updating different things. And not for nothing, Mr. Angelo did place a post in there just making a grand announcement. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see that, and I'm going to read it because it's necessary to what we're going to be talking about here shortly. Okay, so this was posted by Mr. Clary. Okay, and it says Cheryl Mack wrote a book. Okay, so on the contrary, it is not a letter to any of the parents. Okay, Cheryl Mack wrote a book and shared it with the Savages, who then shared it with the Clarys. Then all hell broke loose for her. Not a letter, but a book. Cheryl got fired over Azriel. When you want the real facts, just reach out. Whitney DTV will be having Never Seen Truth and Major Facts about how we all got here. Some are doing a good job, but the facts are not correct. So here we are. I'm here to present those facts. Okay. So with all that being said, we're going to get into this letter. Okay. We're going to get into this letter. All right. So now I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And I told you, we're going to get right into it. Now, many of you guys aren't aware who Cheryl Mack is. She is the mother to London on the Track. Okay. And what a co-inkadink, just me, not no shade, no tea. But he has a lot of issues. Have y'all been noticing all his issues with his baby mamas and stuff like that? Very, very, very interesting. Why everybody's yelling out parents and stuff. She should have been more of a parent to her child, to her son, who over here clearly not being a good father, not doing what he needs to be doing. But that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and get into this letter this book that Miss Cheryl Mack. Hey, Mary Blue. Let's get into this book that Miss Mack tried to put out there, but Mr. Clary, along with other parents, if I'm not mistaken, shut that down. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into this and see what is being said in regards to everything. Okay. All right. So this is what the book says. Matter of fact, let me take myself off the screen and let this be big so you guys can see that. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into this. So Miss Mack says, during my term with Robert Kelly as friend and employee, I witnessed sex. Oh, you idiot. You witnessed. Oh, okay. She started this off so dumb. Oh, gosh. Oh, Lord. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I witnessed sex, hostility, snatching, grabbing, groping, drugs, alcohol, beans, tomato. Okay. Alcohol and bipolar behavior, all from a man who could write a record better than he could spell his name. I began my journey with Robert professionally in August of 2005. Prior to that, there was just cordial conversation. My first visit to Robert's studio was in 2005 with my artist, Sherry Hawk, who now travels as background vocals for Tamia. Robert invited Sherry and I to his chocolate factory studio located in the basement of his Olympia Fields, Illinois home for a close in 2013. Now, we arrived there with the intent to play music and get direction, but we ended up there for days in the studio with Robert at his request. watching him create. There were numerous of girls, all ages, in and out of time, in and out of the studio at all times. Some waited for hours, and some came right in and were introduced and would ultimately disappear. There were many, all of them were very, very young. Sherry, in her early 30s, however, at the time, didn't seem of interest to Robert. Well, duh, she old. But he loved her voice and said he was very impressed with me as her manager and wanted to give her a shot at recording records for other projects. She recorded several records, and one of which he actually selected for his album Double Up. The album did very well. We saw credits, but there was no money compensated. Sherry was featured on the album singing a duet alongside Robert titled Having a Baby. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Okay. Hold on, y'all. All right. Sorry. Okay. Robert never possessed any further activity with Sherry after that and said he wasn't going to make the song a single. So Sherry lost interest and moved on with other supporting act opportunities with Brandy, Kelly Prize, and ultimately made her home with Tamia. Sherry and I parted ways and continued my working relationship with Robert. During the earlier visits with Robert, I was introduced to his staff of engineers, and I became a staple piece. He referred to me as his sister. I met Robert's kids on the first visit to his home. He seemed very close to the children, and this was during the alleged porn court case period. He seemed very close to the relationship. He seemed very close. Sorry. There was a very close relationship with Joanne, his oldest daughter. Interesting. Now 16, Joanne was around more than Jaya, Jaya, the baby name, and Robert Jr. She was a dancer and always danced at Robert's request for his guests. It was uncomfortable. There was one late night party, and Robert had her dancing on the pool table for his guests. There were older men present, mostly staff. This was awkward. He cheered her on, and it seems as if the guys were afraid to clap or even look at her. She was young, and it was inappropriate. Girl, bye. Robert made sure that everyone knew my name. Jeff, the engineer, Abel, you know. In the house engineer, Ian Merinis, also the house engineer, Donnie Lau, music producer, ran the studio. The studio was open around the clock, and Robert recorded after midnight and into the mornings every day. His days began around 4 p.m. with him making rounds with his guests and ultimately ending in the studio. I was always invited to every event, costume parties, dinners, house parties with themes, 5-star parties, as they were called. I was there for video shoots and actually appeared in videos. This was never a paid opportunity with Robert. Our agreement was that if I found an artist opportunity, I would bring it to him first. During that time, I never felt fear of Robert. It was a simple understanding. I worked a corporate job by day and traveled to Chicago on weekends. I traveled at my own expense and did so. Hold on. Gotta take this call. 1 second, please. Sorry, y'all. Where was I at? Okay. I traveled at my own expenses and did so for several years. I introduced Robert to an artist that I began working with out of Atlanta, Dawn. I was shopping her project and getting interested when and getting interest when I played her music for Robert. Robert requests pictures and video of Dawn. When I showed that to him, after loving her voice, he invited her out at his expense. Dawn was early 20s at the time when I flew her out. She brought a girlfriend with her, Angie. Robert met Dawn, loved her, and invited her repeatedly. Then, without me. Ultimately, after a few more visits for parties and no studio time ever, Dawn stopped visiting Robert. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, about to go to page 2. This all went on for a while. In 2009, I began working with female artist Precious Way. Precious was 17, originally from Chicago and living hold on, sorry. Originally from Chicago and living in Atlanta at the time, Precious Way, very excited about me as her manager. And when I told her and her mother that I had a great relationship with Robert, they both wanted to meet him and showcase Precious's music. That was an easy task. I called Robert and told him about Precious, and he invited her and her mom out to Olympia Fields. I covered the cost of air and hotel for us all. When we arrived in Chicago, we were invited to the home where there was a get together. There was a basketball game on the court at his home. and the bar was open on the lawn. Now, Precious and her mom, who are both the Chicago fans of Robert's, that never even came close to meeting him. It was beyond their wildest dreams. Robert was very cordial and respectful that night. We were his special guests. He seemed smitten with Precious. Uh-oh. Y'all, I just got the article from New York Times. I just got the article from New York Times. I just got the article. I'm officially a published blogger. Hey, 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 hey. Okay, I'm sorry. I just have to put that out. The email just came through. We're gonna have to look at the article. Oh my gosh, how you doing? Woo! Or yeah, or whatever. Okay. Anyways, sorry. Child. I'm so excited. Okay. Okay. Where was I at? Okay. He seemed smitten with Precious. She was young and this hadn't happened at this point. In my presence during my stint with Robert, we were invited into his studio, and there we sat, listened to music, and shuffled through pictures from Precious's portfolio. Precious asked, and with Robert's approval, went to the bathroom down the hall, while her mother and I waited in the studio. During their absence, Robert faked a phone call, went to the bathroom, and escorted Precious into his theater room next door to the bathroom. Now, once he had Precious in the theater room, he locked the door and began his sex act with her. She was a virgin, scared out of her mind that if she didn't allow him to have sex with her, that he would refuse her project and disappointment. In the end, in that room, they exchanged phone numbers. And when she returned to the room, she seemed nervous and disengaged. He appeared a few minutes later. We resumed as if the sex trauma never happened. Her mother and I were totally in the dark of this happening. Precious and Robert became very close. They would talk for hours on the phone, and her mother and I were clueless. He told her not to tell me that they were talking offline. She was so afraid of Robert. This went on for months. Robert ultimately agreed to make this a chocolate factory project, and he allowed me to oversee the project. Precious took a firm liking to Robert. Robert would ultimately put Precious up in a hotel a little less than a mile from his home at the Country Inn Suites in Illinois. Now, he would extend the room daily to keep her there. Robert requested a writer for Precious to get her music going. Now, he allowed me as her manager. Hold on. Sorry. Now, he allowed me as her manager to oversee the project. I hired engineers and songwriters for the project. There were tons. There were times. What's she trying to say? There were times when, times, baby. Did she proofread this before? Okay. There were times when he would yell at Precious about what she would wear to the studio, and she would cry out of fear. She said that he would beat her at the end of the sessions. He would buy her costumes and make her dress up and videotape her. She was forced to wear high heels and tutus with hair bows and lollipops to complete the costume. I scouted a rider for Atlanta in January of 2010. Her name is Venetia, or is it Venetia, y'all? Vanika. Anyways, Andrews. She was an inspiring writer. She was in love with Robert the first day that she met him. He wanted to meet with her without me. He said he wanted to do so because he needed to make sure she was in it for Precious. This was also part of the scheme. He met with her alone, and after the first night, he called me and said, "You the shit." She was 19 at the time. Robert began playing Precious and Venetia against each other until it got to be too much for Precious. Robert had moved overseas. Wait a minute. Robert had me overseeing the project and proposed a co-management arrangement for both the girls. He had me doing all of the work, and he would come in at the end of every session to check the progress of Venetia's writing and Precious's vocals. I hired an engineer by the name Dwayne. He was also a producer, and he was present for every session with the girls. Precious was very afraid of Robert. She would also tear up when she knew that he was on his way to the session. I began to fear what she feared. This went on for quite some time, and Robert ultimately stopped her sessions. By now, she was in a Hampton Inn hotel in Illinois. I was flying in and out of Chicago. The sporadic sessions didn't suit me from a cost perspective. There was no money coming in. He wouldn't allow her to work out, leave her room, or even speak or see her mother. It got really out of control. But you said nothing, Trick. All right, let's go to this next page. Precious's mother was fed up. Robert had by then forced Precious to have an abortion, beat her like a child, forced her to wear makeup to cover her bruises, remain silent about it, stay in her hotel room, not speak to her family. She was scared. They hired attorney Susan Logans, sued Robert a few weeks prior to his Africa date as opener of the World Cup. He called me in, put fear in me, told me that I needed to pick a team. He said that people get killed for being involved in this kind of thing. I feared for my life. Robert had people around him that he threatened to handle me if this got out of hand. He forced me to visit his attorney, Ed Jensen, where he prepared Jensen. Ed was already prepared for my arrival. He had a series of questions. For every question, it prepared me for shakedown and other legal scare tactics that I didn't know. I was more afraid for my reputation in the industry and how things were playing out. Precious won her lawsuit against Robert, and the case is sealed. The case was based on sex with an underage minor. Now, there's video footage on file of Robert's multiple entrances into Precious's hotel room, collections of Robert's fingerprints and semen from her undergarments, and bed sheets, all collected and used in support of the case. Wow. Robert continued his life with Venetia, and she lives as one of Robert's main girls. I recently moved all of Venetia's belongings from a condo at Buckhead Grand here in Atlanta that was in my name to the new guest house in Georgia. In 2013 through 2014, Robert asked me to locate Precious, and I did. He offered her a visit to Atlanta. She accepted. I arranged a visit, and they picked up where they left off. Precious revealed at that time that she was still in love with Robert, and her life was so damaged that she didn't even know how to function with other men after being in that scary relationship with him. I made the contact with Precious for Robert because I was afraid not to. He would have forced her to take her clothes off after he completely undressed in front of me and forced her to have sex with him, with me sitting there while she cried doing so. And bitch, you said nothing. Excuse me. He appeared happy and smoked a cigar afterwards. Told her that if she wanted to be an artist, that she had to learn how to be free and not so timid. She was humiliated and ultimately realized that he hadn't changed. She told me later that he continued to hit her and yell and force her to do things sexually that she would never do, like finger him anally. Rewind. Let's run that back. Rewind. She told me later that he continued to hit her and yell and force her to do things sexually that she would never do. Like finger this nigga's grown, crusty, funky ass. And speak of her finger as a penis. And ask him if he liked it. So basically, while fingering this nigga's grown behind, she's referring to, you like this penis? You, what? You like this penis? You like this? You big grown. And just in case if y'all don't know, The man's G-spot is in their anus. So that's why a lot of men, unfortunately, are turned out, because it's a situation where you like it, but it's just like, no. I'm going to keep reading. She said that was his most satisfying moments with her sexually. In November of 2013, after Robert decided to make Atlanta a second home, I began to work with both he and Divine, what's her name? Divine, on their joint venture of businesses. The goal was several companies that included a record label. Robert and the young lady agreed on company splits, and things were in motion. I had no clue initially that Robert's plan was skewed. He told me on a Sprinter ride that V, I'm guessing this is V, right, y'all? That she had what he wanted, charisma. And that was something that he didn't possess naturally. He then began his Atlanta mission. He needed an attorney to draft the documents for the businesses. And he specifically wanted a Chicago lawyer. Now, I scouted a few, and after a recommendation for his A&R, from his A&R rep at Sony RCA, Wayne Williams, Linda Mitch, and Linda Mitch was the candidate hired for the job. I reached out to Linda personally, set up an appointment in LA, and after meeting with her, I scheduled a meeting with Robert. We all sat down. He liked what he heard, and we ultimately hired Linda on the spot. Now, Robert introduced me to Linda as his longtime assistant and advised her to do everything through me. I spent months ramping Linda on the various process and procedures of the Kelly business. You mean Kelly Enterprise, right? I spent countless hours during the day working alongside Linda, phasing her in while phasing out Gerald Blackie, Jones, and Daryl McDavid, former business managers. Linda never wanted to get involved with Robert's personal business, but there was no way around it. She knew of his past and always suggested to me that he should find a comparable mate. Linda and I needed help as the business was starting to grow. I don't know, and me, it's blurred out. Name the company. Hired Linda, hired a bookkeeper, a friend of Linda's, hired a stylist, a friend of mine's. Robert ultimately played all of us against each other, V included, in order to justify not paying any of us except Linda. Linda ultimately paid herself. And let's go to the next one. Linda ultimately paid herself and carved my and Jones' salary as a business management team salary, thus the 10K. The salary was not in place until July of 2014. Up until that time, I was basically working for free, hiring and building the company, RSK Enterprise. Robert received $2 million from a tour booked by V and never offered V or myself a dime. Now, I have the bank statements of incoming cash and outgoing expenses if anybody wants to see it. No, nobody gives a damn. When things started to become more structured, Robert began to change his attitude towards V. And he began playing us against each other. He would call me and yell at me over the phone and in person for having conversations with V, or even being cordial with him, or cordial with him. He wanted me to believe that V was trying to be the artist and that he wasn't really in for him. Now, things got out of control. I went through the process of hiring a stylist. Now, the first stylist that I brought in for an interview, he wanted her phone number and wanted to hire the second candidate for work. Now, during this time, he was proposing nights with my 22-year-old niece and my best friend in her 30s. He was very aggressive with my niece, asked me to have her send pictures to his phone and call him, come by the studio, etc. She refused to do so. Now, my best friend had zero interest in, thought that it was very disrespectful. Now, Robert began asking me to invite girls to the gym where he played basketball. My friends never wanted to come. They actually thought he was disgusting and were intimidated with this aggressive behavior off the court. The stylist ultimately hired for the job, Cash Howard, was harassed by Robert. She said on numerous occasions that he asked her for pictures and to not be afraid to be a little girl for daddy. Every girl calls him daddy. It was embarrassing. Now, I hired her, and it became a styling game of weed smoking and heavy use of alcohol. And then, ultimately, he began to play us against each other. I never saw Cash and Robert intimate. I saw text messages, and she often spoke of their sexual phone conversations. She told me that he forced her to watch him have sex with his regular girlfriends, Juice and Venetia. This went on a few times in the lounge at Divine's house. She goes on to say, Robert's employee, Uncle Junebug, was very rude to me after he saw Robert yell and curse me out. Robert would say, "You are very smart, but you do stupid stuff." For example, if the guests would fly in at noon and arrive at their hotel and couldn't check in until 3 p.m., he would yell and curse at me and call me stupid and blame me for the hotel rules. This would happen if flights were delayed, if drivers weren't present at the carousel, if the Uber driver was a male and not a female. He would yell at me and curse me out in front of Junebug. And Junebug ultimately began to yell and curse at me as Robert did. They would have me running through crowds at shows to make sure that the guests were always in his view at concerts and not near each other. He left the stage at a show once and cursed me out because one of the guests moved from one side of the stage to the other, and he saw them close to each other. Now, he said it was my fault. He did this in front of the staff. How dare him? Junebug had me scared to do my job. Just doing my damn job here. He would make me feel as though I didn't work for Mr. Kelly, as he would call him. More so that I worked for him. I'm only watching R.Kelly rape and beat women, not you, Junebug. Now, Robert would make Junebug the boss of everyone and still say, only do what I tell you to do. It was a very confusing and hostile environment. Now, more girls became a priority. Azriel Clary, an inspiring artist from Orlando. Joycelyn Savage, an inspiring artist from Atlanta. Judia Johnson, an aspiring model from Atlanta. Christy K.L. Lee, an inspiring artist from Texas, and others were all Robert's new teenage girls that I was constantly moving around, booking air, ground, and hotel, all with a debit card in my freaking name from his personal Robert S. Kelly SunTrust bank account. These girls were so young and not travel savvy. It was very difficult. I mean, it was hell having to get these minors to and fro for these sexcapades. Very difficult creatively moving them around. Robert never cared about the process or the cost. He wanted to make sure they got to him, as he would request. Last page, everybody. It was during a show date in Connecticut that everything took a turn for the worse. Robert would ask me to bring in Joycelyn Savage, Azriel Clary, Christy Lee, and have them all stay on the casino property and take turns coming to the shows. Now, at the final show, Robert asked me to get Azriel to him from the front of the stage to his dressing room. I escorted her back and left the room. He yelled for me an hour later as if something was wrong. I walked into the room and sat next to them both. He was laying on a huge ottoman, and she was sitting next to him. We were discussing the show, and moments later, she leaned over and started giving him oral sex. Pause, bitch, pause. Let's run that back. Now, Trick, you're not gonna be crying on the stand, and your black ass witness this sex crime. Yeah. No. We're gonna run this back. We were discussing the show, and moments later, she leaned over and started giving him oral sex. In front of who? In front of me. Oh, bitch, I know you lying. I know you lying. Your dog trifling, old kids having behind, witness a sex crime, and your trifling ass is writing a book about it? Child. Child. Child, please. Child, please. And y'all want to sit up here and keep yelling about the parents and this whole parent grown trifling. Sit up here and watch this stuff happen. You watch porn, basically. You watch child kitty porn. Child. It was disgusting. She only 17. I'm going to try to get through this because it's kind of triggering y'all. It was in that moment that I made a conscious decision to end this role. Girl, shut up. Shut up. You should have made a conscious decision at that point to turn your ass to some kind of police or whatever. I would have ran smooth out into that concert. You can't get me if I'm in public. You made a decision to leave, but you didn't make a decision to leave and tear your butt to the nearest police. Y'all in another city. He may have Chicago or New York or Florida. Y'all in another state. I would have ran on stage like a fool. Y'all stop! Stop! He back here raping. It was in that moment that I made a conscious decision to end this role. It didn't feel right hearing him moan to the enjoyment of a child giving him oral sex. He would always have her in the room, straddling him in front of everyone. He thought it was sexy to do that. I was harassed later by Junebug, Linda, Joan, and the new tour management, KG. They found issues with everything that I did after. I had them ramped and comfortable in their seats. I was the biggest threat to everyone because I 100% had Robert's entire life in my hands. And your dumbass could have crushed it in that moment. Even Robert thought that was too much control. They started playing alongside Robert with being rude. He did so much of the playing everyone against each other that he forgot that I had 4 condos in my name for him. And his guest for the first year, I put 2 houses and every single utility in my name for him. These things went unnoticed, but still remained open items during the time that he wasn't paying me because he felt like I was being paid too much, and B, because Linda and the bookkeeper Joan convinced him that I was improperly handling show dates and not negotiating bonuses, so money was being left on the table. Linda, Joan, and KG somehow figured out how to convince Robert that divine and I no longer made sense. So they defamed our names, and Robert cut my salary. Oh, darn. I can no longer live on this pedophile. Oh, what a cruel world. Made me pay for Linda's mistakes. Oh. And ultimately played me against one of his friends who booked club dates for him. This guy, Reese McKinney, would pay for me out of his commission from events for helping him on his side of the business. Robert saw that as double dipping. The 200 or 300 here and there just somehow didn't sit well with him. He was then convinced that I was showing favoritism to some of the agents after I delivered on his request to close the dates for his friends. That brought in an excessive of 1.3 million in show dates. Now, Robert has a strong pattern of creating fear to not pay his debt to anyone. I would always get his approval on extremely costly flights and upscale hotels, but pushback when I would ask for my own pay. While I was renting condos, homes, and covering utilities all in my name and covering his tracks as he proceeded to be a damn pedophile. But I continue. I was disbarred by Linda, Joan, and KG. Robert ultimately lowered my responsibilities in the enterprise that still flourishes to focusing only on his guests and the homes that are in my name to house all of these minors at the time. And it was grueling. Trick by girl, child. 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 Let me see. We have Jade. What you got to say, Jade?
Wait, you hear me?
I sure can.
Oh, I was gonna say I just can't stop laughing. Y'all are crazy in the comment section talking about Harpo, and you took me out when you said Precious. I was like, not Precious. Don't do that. Don't say that. Yes, you said Precious. I think it's the assistant because this heifer thinks she's slick. Like, who you tricking? You using an alias?
Mm-hmm. Well, no, this is Cheryl Mack. That was
it is.
Yeah, she was on the stand.
Because I put it in the comment section. I'm like, this heifer real name is Diana Copeland. Who she thinks she fooling?
But Cheryl Mack, I don't know, she was involved too. She is London on the Tracks mom. And Tasha K actually exposed her already. She said that, but you know where she got her information from.
Tasha K can get mad sometimes. They gotta not get on her bad side. I know she yell and everything, but I love Tasha K. She funny.
Yeah, she's silly, but Cheryl Mack, yeah, she was one of the enablers. She was there from the beginning.
My bad. If you see that comment, that was me. I really thought that was Diana Copeland because that have been lying for a minute now.
Girl, they always liars.
She's not even good at it. She bad.
Yeah, they all been proven to be liars. So you know what I'm saying? They all been proven to be liars. So you know what I'm saying? But anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and get into these transcripts for Holly. I'll put you back in the chat. You can come back on. I'm gonna open it back up at the end of it.
Okay, thank you.
They making fun of your laugh, Jay.
I'm sorry.
They cracking up at your laugh.
That Precious name though, and they talk about Harpo. I'm like, y'all so wrong for this. I shouldn't be laughing at this.
So I love you, Jade, and we'll see you at the end of the show.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, y'all. Y'all better leave Jade alone, okay? Leave my baby alone. Shoot, she can laugh like a wet seal if she want to. Ha! She let her laugh like she want to. Y'all better get off my girl. I'm just playing, Jay. I love you. Okay, y'all, let's go ahead and get into these transcripts of Holly. Okay, let's get into these transcripts of Holly. Go ahead and share my screen real quick. Oh, okay. We got somebody else that would like to come on. I'm gonna let you speak real quick, and then we're gonna get back on. Hey, Lee.
Hi, I just wanted to say thank you for the coverage and for this information. I've never seen this information anywhere.
Oh,
and
okay.
I wanted to know, do you think that Cheryl told the truth in court?
That's a very good question. I believe, and just to generalize this, I believe all of them told bits and pieces, because at the end of the day, you heard me say what I said. She basically implemented herself to seeing all these things, and she did nothing. So I feel like all of them said bits and pieces and are trying to distance themselves from the situation. However, it's just too much proof and evidence to say otherwise. So yes, I believe she told the truth. However, but I believe that she withheld a lot of information as well.
Yeah, because I think she probably would have gotten in more trouble, since she wanted to profit off of this book, but she didn't tell the police. So I think that was wrong.
Yeah, and to put that out there, the Angelo stopped it, the Clarys, because she had this content out there about their daughter, and I get it. So I get it. So like I stated earlier, what happened was she herself, she sent this insertment to the Savages, and the Savages then in turn sent it over to the Clarys, and they shut that down. That's why it has not came out, but it's just been going around and circling around the internet. But yeah, like child, girl, you can say all this and put all this stuff out there. However, you said nothing.
Thank you again.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Shazazz Creations, your one-stop shop when it comes to customization. Totes, tees, tumblers, hats, and more. Looking for a customized gift idea for a graduation, birthday party, baby shower, or just a unique creation of your own? Check out Shazazz Creations as seen here on Whitney D TV. Female, Black owned. Use my promo in the description box down below and let her know Whitney D of Whitney D TV sent you. Thank you. Bye.